Hello, my friends. We are live once again. This is Nick, SocialistMMA. We are on the Revolutionary Blackout. I have a special Tuesday night for you. I had so many stories to talk about. When me and CJ do our show on Monday, make sure you guys check that out if you don't, because we upload every day. Nick and CJ show on Monday. You guys saw we had some issues. Well, YouTube decided to fuck with us a little bit. But we got two parts. Make sure you guys check that out. There's so many stories that I wanted to cover. So I wanted to do another Tuesday stream. You guys asked for some more content, so I wanted to provide that for you guys. So if you guys enjoy the stream, please please subscribe and share all that because I want to talk about Afghanistan. You guys know my role in this movement and what I've been trying to educate people more on is to this game view politics through the lens of class struggle. We solo today, Azura. Yeah, it is Tuesday night for me today. I got a few things. I have a few stories that we want to talk about. We can do Q&A. I have great shows planned Thursday. Thursday we're gonna have two shows because I think we're gonna launch a new international leftist panel on Thursday night. Next Tuesday, I will have a Star of Rod and Josana on as well. But tonight, I want to talk about some issues. So it will just be me. And we're going to talk about Afghanistan. I want to call out um, all the people who was praising Biden prematurely. So we're going to take time to really dive into that issue. I want to talk about the latest class war politics, the amount of wealth that billionaires have stolen from us throughout the course of this pandemic. They got new numbers out on that as well. And you guys see the title of this video. And I guess I start my monologue like this, right? The only reason I have a platform, the only reason I decided to jump into this because I've seen the left lead us off a cliff. So Chris Hedges recently said that there is no populist left. Now I disagree with that in a sense because that's erasing a lot of activists. But I understand the premise that he's laying out. I understand that he's saying that if you look at the progressive class, you look at Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ilhan Omar, and their supporters, they pretty much abandoned any sort of populism and decided to embrace a top-down model of change, like the Democratic Party, Justice Democrats, and the Biden administration, to the point where I'm gonna explain how people play the white suburbanite politics game, where they weak uh, on state violence, they weak on foreign policy. Like I'm not seeing like I where the outrage over Biden funding multiple genocides. Where's the outrage over Biden escalating the war crimes of the state? Because I'm gonna show you guys here soon. Afghanistan, there are 23 million people who and we was laughing with this with CJ. They say they are food insecure. What what is that? 23 million Afghanistan people, they are starving to death. The black community, their wealth is being stolen by the police state through civil asset forfeiture. The police target not only our community, but the poor working class as well as a whole. Um, like Latinos, indigenous people are also one of the highest ranked in terms of people who have their money stolen through civil asset forfeiture. And then, so if you're not fighting against this police state, if you're not fighting against this system, you're not as class conscious as you think you are. And there are a lot of people who they think they are class conscious, they think they're populist, they think they're socialist, and they think they're leftist, but they are weak on the issue of the national security state rising and the crushing authoritarian state that is destroying workers. Also, the title of the video, I'm talking about the rise of the insane authoritarian Democrat Karen voter that been so divided and conquered that they forgot what supposed to be the premise of liberalism in their politics. I'm not talking about what they actually do, but the premise is we supposed to supply people with health care. We supposed to supply people with housing. We're supposed to be helping people. So their argument is we advocate for authoritarian COVID policies because we want to help you. But you guys gonna see what they really want to do to the unvax. That it's like, all right, we want you to follow these policies, or because we want to protect you. But if you don't follow these policies, we're gonna ruin your life. Can someone explain to me this ideology and how this makes sense as someone who's a progressive, someone who left is supposed to have this idea? So I'm going to dive in that later today because we're going to talk about that poll. We got Radical Leftist Agenda in the house. Shout out to Radical Leftist Agenda, longtime friend. Aaron Fights for the People. We got to get Aaron on the Nick and CJ show here pretty soon. I see a lot of familiar faces here. I appreciate everyone for watching. If you're enjoying, please share. This is gonna be just me touching base with you guys on a few stories. I'll tell you guys what we're gonna cover today. So please stay with us as I cover Afghanistan. I'm gonna cover the Biden absolute debacle, the authoritarian pose, and and there's also something I want you guys to understand when I do these segments today. I want you guys to understand my fear and the reason why people like me in Rome are extremely militant now, because there's a rise of authoritarianism, not only among the Democrat shitlib Karens, but also among the Republican right wing, the so-called right-wing populists, right? And I had some people in my community. I had people always ask me these questions about right-wing populists. So I have been doing a few segments talking about it. And we're gonna cover how they're inconsistent. They're extremely inconsistent on this. So I'm gonna tweet this out. Let me tweet the stream out. Make sure you guys share as well because we're gonna get to the story. I think we do Afghanistan first. We start with something serious and then we dive into. I think I can connect those two. It gives me no pleasure to say that Joe Biden and my latest op-ed. I've been plugging my stuff Substack a lot recently. Maybe I should put the article up because I actually don't really promote it enough as I should. Nick Cruse Substack. I'm gonna show you guys my last Joe Biden article, guys. I'm out here writing articles. You guys should subscribe to my Substack. But check this out. I wrote this article in October. What comment, Azura? I'm presenting stories too. I'm like alone. I have no producer, so I'll try to get you guys comments as soon as I can. Though, what did I miss? Isn't Omar from Somalia? Then is she letting Democrats bomb her homeland because she financially secured as a congresswoman? Should we do a segment on that today? I did a segment on that maybe a few weeks ago. But you guys know there are people in Ilhan Omar's district that are furious with her right now. Furious. People from Somalia who are calling out Ilhan Omar for repeating CIA talking points in Somalia. Because that's just another African nation that Joe Biden is bombing the poorest people. He is genociding the poorest people, starving the poorest people in Yemen. And they also going in Somalia. And I need to read more about this because I was dabbling into this, right? But Ilhan Omar, like her and the progressives always do, they took the side of the Democrats and they started repeating the same talking point that the Biden administration was doing on Somalia. If you guys give me a chance, because I'm alone here, I can find the receipts. And immediately when Ilhan sent this tweet out in support of U.S. talking points in Somalia and the U.S. propped regime there, they immediately like, okay, we gotta get her out. We're done. You're a sellout. And honestly, that is what I've been saying for a while. That's exactly what I've been saying for a while. So people are starting to wake up to the game, man, because even though, and I told you, we're going to talk about white suburbanite politics and how progressive, white progressives and privileged suburbanites create a leftist space that make it so people of color and people in disenfranchised communities can't effectively fight and organize. You guys seen that when they attacked the General Strike Summit, for example. So it's easy for them to ignore these issues that impact our community. I did an entire live stream. I'm going to probably release the video here soon, clipped out. Me pretty much debunking giant police state, anti-defunded police propaganda. That's easy for people to repeat because they're not victims of this police state like we are, right? And people like Jackson, a lot of people in our sphere, big shout out to Heartland's Media as well. They've been calling out this divide. They've been calling out the professional managerial class. Why is the position of the left so bad right now? Because we've been let off the cliff. Maybe I should talk about this now. Yeah, because we're about to talk about Afghanistan, so fuck it. I might as well. Here, I'm going to tweet it out. But progressives are talking about Marianne Williamson for 2024. Guys, let me tweet it out. She's an imperialist. do you guys have the do you guys have her Afghanistan tweets and her Israel Palestine tweets? I'm legitimately confused. I thought we was done with her after that. And I'm not here to paint Marianne as someone who is nefarious. I don't think she's a bad person, because I like to make that distinction. I think Joe Biden is one of the most evil people. One of the most evil people you can possibly find. When you look at John McCain, when you look at pick and choose any of these standard centrist shit libs, Joe Manchin, the same Republicans too, Mitch McConnell. I think these people are legitimately evil, right? That's not my opinion of Marianne Williamson. In fact, she's really good on reparations. But I want you guys to get serious as people who are building a movement. Like, even if you're pro Marianne Williamson, why would you advocate for her to be commander-in-chief? Commander-in-chief, the president, the most power they have is at controlling the military. That's the biggest change a leftist president can make, is his challenge against the prison and the military-industrial complex. And you guys are really going to consider someone who's weak on this? What? If you guys have the tweets, help me, because I'm going to dig it up if you guys are patient with me. But her takes on Afghanistan, where she was repeating the CIA talking points that we have to stay in Afghanistan to protect the women, as if that's why we was there. Like, I'm talking about this because I'm about to bring up Afghanistan now and the genocide that Biden is funding there. Maybe I should get into the super chat. I told you I'm all alone, guys, so you guys have to have patience with me. I don't have a producer here, so I'm not like one of these other bougie streamers. So thank you, Azura, for $5. I didn't get to say this on the stream on MLK Day, but I think they should just, for the family, they're making a holiday since they're just milking them. Yeah, like MLK Day is a very frustrating day for a black leftist. The day off is great. I love that people call out how the fact that MLK was a radical. Like, there's a lot of truth telling that goes on. But as someone who engages in discourse and had to read, people like, you had the FBI tweeting stuff out like in honor of MLK as if they didn't kill him, right? You have people like Christian Cinema and Hillary Clinton had the audacity to send out tweets. You guys see how they whitewash and bastardize our revolutionary leaders in order to serve their agenda in the most disgusting way possible. I'm not gonna go back to some of the crazy. Like, I seen like right wingers talk about MLK. Steven Crowder had a video where he was talking about MLK, and he was like, if MLK was alive today, he'll be proud. He'll be proud. He'll see that racism is over. Racism is done. And then his guest was like, yeah, racism was ended in the 90s. You see how, and throughout the course of this segment, maybe I will dig it up here. They were trying to say that MLK would be 100% happy with how the status quo is right now. And since Azura brought up MLK, I want to show you guys this clip, because he is one of the most MLK is one of the most disrespected, as like it's very predictable that they will disrespect our revolutionary leaders and cast them as people they are complete or as they are not. Actually, I want to do the segment proper, so maybe I should find it. I think I can find it pretty fast. 50. But no, I remember who tweeted the video out. I think I do. But at the same time, there's not really a lot of value watching this, isn't it? It is. We are talking about class-based politics, though. This guy said more class-based politics, please. That's exactly what we're talking about. Like, where's the confusion? Where's the confusion here? Ending the wars is a class-based issue. The military-industrial complex is siphoning wealth from our communities. The military-industrial complex is poisoning our communities. More connecting the issues, please. Oh man, I really don't. I'm still debating whether I should even watch this. Let's see. I just want to give you guys an alternative. Oh, listen to this. Oh, I don't know, man. This is getting really low though, because that dude Steven Crowder is such a joke. Steven Crowder. Because what is just? Nah, I decided I want to show that because he was making like jokes about MLK and crack whores or whatever. So I skip right to the. I guess I skip to the Marianne part. I don't want to, because the thing is, I was about to show a Steven Crowder clip, but it's like I don't want to get. I don't even care really. I told you guys I don't really like when people like spend all their time talking about what the right wing says. So I'm gonna just move on. I was mostly respond to one of your guys' chats anyway. Thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna just keep moving. I have a plan for the show, so I'm gonna keep going with the show. I'm not gonna watch the right wing. I'm not gonna do that. I was seeing what the headline was. I'm like, nah, I really don't want to do that. I'll just show you guys this clip. I think this clip is important to watch because this clip shatters what they say about him. Because I can at least tell you what he said. The argument they was making was MLK would be happy about the progress that we made today. Guys, MLK was an anti-capitalist, just like Richard Pryor, as we covered in our other stream. When he died, he was literally leading an anti-workers protest in March. He was literally trying to create a multi-racial working class coalition to destroy international capitalism. These are the things that he was talking about. So when I talk about MLK, I'm talking about class politics. That person was like, more class politics. I'm talking about MLK. How can you say I'm not talking about class politics when I'm talking about the guy who literally was leading a poor working class movement? Do you guys see how people are so confused about who MLK is? Do you guys see how people are so confused about what black issues are? When I have Dr. Kareem Patesh on, and we're gonna have a Thursday show we're gonna do, right? That's a new announcement. I'm gonna have more announcements later on. But you guys say, oh my God, you guys talk about race all the time. Why are you guys not talking about class? Bro, MLK, Fred Hampton, and the revolutionary leaders I am following and the politics I am advocating for in terms of destroying the police state and destroying the military-industrial complex and giving us Medicare for all, giving us a thriving wage, canceling usury. How is that not class-based politics? When I talk about ending the police state, because the civil asset forfeiture steals so much of our wealth. This is why our wealth right now is lower than at the height of the civil rights era, wealth and income inequality, right? So this is the real MLK because he understood this. And I played this yesterday, but I think it's better repeating. So you guys know who he is. 1 second.
Turned into a nightmare. Now, I'm not one to lose hope. Turned into a nightmare. Now, I'm not one to lose hope. I keep on hoping. I still have faith in the future. But I've had to analyze many things over the last few years, and I would say over the last few months. I've gone through a lot of soul searching and agonizing moments. And I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. And I think the realistic fact is that we still have a long, long way to go, and that we are involved in a war.
Does that sound like a guy who was satisfied and think the work of the civil rights movement was done? So in my article, I wrote and I explained how the civil rights movement was left undone and why I criticized the black capitalist sellouts because they sided with the forces of oppression. They sided with Wall Street. Lloyd Austin, he's part of the weapon defense contractors. Jim Clyburn sold out to Big Pharma. Barack Obama sold out to every industry, right? So that's exactly the problem that we deal with our community, right? So I'm gonna continue with my story because that's my spill on MLK. And he had Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden. You guys saw that awful. I'm pretty sure everyone covered that at this point. Joe Biden being Joe Biden. There's a reason why he's been hiding from the public. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they have a new media strategy. Their new media strategy is they want to come out there and set the record straight on their administration because their poll numbers are trash. But it's been a disaster. It's been a disaster. Kamala been a disaster. Ah, man. Appreciate the love in the chat, my friends. We got log. It's great. It's great. Still got a lot of great stories for you guys. Just let me know how the stream is going. I'm just here on my own. I have no producer with me, so hopefully you guys enjoying the content and share with some friends. We got a lot. We got a lot of great stuff. Also, I'll make this announcement before I continue the story. So, because someone was asking about the International Leftist Coalition, the International Leftist people who love that show so much, we're gonna have 2 panels on it now because people schedule. We all busy people, guys. We all busy people. So we're gonna have a Tuesday show next Tuesday. Josana will be back on Revolutionary Blackout. My sister, love Josana, man. So she's gonna be back with Asal, and Asal just wrote a new piece. So we're gonna talk about that on Tuesday. Thursday, my brother, my man, Dr. Kareem Batesh. You guys know Kareem Batesh is a badass. Kareem Batesh, he trained Muay Thai with Ernesto Hoost. He trained Muay Thai with Ernesto Hoost. And he's super modest about it. And you guys don't know because you guys see him on the screen, but Kareem is 6'5". 6'5" Muay Thai professor out of Hong Kong. What a badass. He's gonna join me on Thursday. I think Peter gonna join us. You guys know how we do it. It's gonna be a great intellectual conversation, I think. Yep. This kind of the vibe I want on my show. Just like we're just hanging out. I had pasta and Misty on Saturday. Check that out. Once again, we didn't get anywhere near through the show because I want my show to be more like just hanging out, talking. And when I invite guests on Saturday, I'm gonna have a lineup of guests every week. I had Misty and Pasta on last week. I had Danny Haifong on the week before as well. Whew. Every Saturday we're gonna have great guests. Excuse me, guys. I had to prepare for this question. Thank you for this comment, Janice. The Dems co-op then whitewashed Black, Brown, and Indigenous movements. Then they replaced the movement leaders with sellout who mislead the less aware movement members of the movement back into the party. Amen. Amen, Janice. You hit the nail on the head perfectly. I wrote a whole op-ed talking about that. And I'm glad that people in and my audience at least understands this concept. This is why when Ice Cube, unlike our other sellout entertainers and people that pop up as our leaders, Ice Cube said, "Why will I vote for you if you don't have a black agenda? Like, why wouldn't we ask for a black agenda?" And you guys see the reaction they had to him when he said that? The liberal class crucified him. So they love black people and people of color as long as they know who's in charge. You better know who actually calling the shots. I've been in this game for only 2 years, right? And a ton of people who like love the Justice Democrats and they love Bernie Sanders. They used to love me when I was on the campaign trail because I was canvassing for Bernie Sanders. What's up, Savvy? I was just watching your show. Savvy. What's up? Anyone check that out? Savvy Show. Make sure you guys watch the debate I had with Garland Nixon on defund the police too. And it was a great conversation because it wasn't like any ego in it. And that's why a lot of people was reacting and saying, "Oh my God, it almost like it wasn't even a debate." Yeah, this is how two black men who have mutual respect for each other. Because I love the work of Garland Nixon. I love his politics. And we knew that we wasn't arguing in bad faith. We knew we wasn't coming in bad faith. And that's how discussions are supposed to be had. And I came into that conversation. I was like, I want to show people how I want to show you guys how the debate me bro people are unserious, right? I wanted to show people that. And me and Garland, we had disagreements on this issue, but it was a great conversation where we were just educating the crowd together. So, but I was explaining, Ashura said Nick is blacklisted. Dude, all the Bernie bros, the TYT crowd, they all used to follow me. They all used to like me because that's back when I was on the campaign trail and I used to report for Bernie Sanders. A lot of you guys know my origin story where I quit my job. I was traveling. I went in multiple states and I was working as a citizen journalist, just preaching socialism. You guys know the guy who plays Cyborg on the Justice League, Ray Fisher. We was canvassing in black barbershops in South Carolina. Great guy. That guy's smart, man. He's sharp. He was a Bernie bro too. I don't know where his politics is now, but he was preaching pro black working class politics, and we was going to these old black conservative people in South Carolina preaching socialism to them. Ray Fisher, yep. Yeah, that was back in the day. I told you guys, man, I had a long journey, man. Someone's like, "You canvass for Bernie?" Yeah, man. I talk about it a lot. I don't have no regrets either. No regrets because I advocated socialism and anti-establishment politics to my community, and the Bernie campaign was just a front for that. It was just a front. So let's get into let me get into the story. Let me continue. Actually, talk about Afghanistan. So, isn't it funny? And the number one goal of this show is to point out the pro-war propaganda and how the state manufactured consent towards war and towards police violence. I did an entire segment yesterday where we discussed and pretty much debunked all the giant police budget apologists, right? The people who fearmonger over defunded police, the people who think they're pro-working class, but they support the blue stripe that essentially impose regressive fines and fees on the working class. We talk about that, right? And we want to continue to expose the media that push war. And I remember last summer, I took a different stance than a lot of people. A lot of people wanted to praise Joe Biden. Oh, shit. I got to find this video. I can show you guys exactly what I said. I think I clipped it on Twitter, actually. Hold up. I literally said, if you're a principal anti-imperialist, and we covered this multiple times on the International Leftist Coalition, you gotta understand when you're out, you're out. Like, and that's why I want when we talk about ending the war in Afghanistan, I don't want no covert operations like the United States are doing. I don't want economic war, which they are doing in the same way. hope I can find this video, man. I like talking about. I always talk about when I'm wrong. So let's talk about when I'm. Let's see. Well, this is one with Matt Blumenthal. It was a while ago. Let's see how close I was. It's been a while since I've seen this, so let's see how close I was. Because this is why I've been warning people about the Democratic Party, because it was openly like running to Trump's right on foreign policy. And now when I see that Biden's pretty much his foreign policy is just like Trump, even now, I want to get your opinion on the Afghanistan withdrawal, because I don't know why do people keep calling it a withdrawal when they keep in private militia there. Like, isn't the whole point where we probably begin out? Like, they still invest in resources, they invested private militia there. And also why I warn people about, like, if you pull out Afghanistan, why are you increasing the military budget? Why are you guys still having more military bases? So I warn people, like, even if they reduce their funds, because I'm not calling it a pullout unless we completely out. Like, we still got private militias there. We're not all the way out. But if we do that, we're gonna redirect that, and they're gonna redirect that back to focus on stuff like fighting China and fighting against Russia. And that's what the Biden administration already said their plan is.
Well, think about who's next door to Afghanistan. Someone asked a question about, all these claims of Uyghur genocide, and this kind of relates.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that.
One of the reasons that China has enacted a counterinsurgency policy in the Xinjiang province, which is where much of the population is Uyghur, is because of the rise of a Wahhabi jihadist group, which grew out of the U.S. intervention, the CIA covert operation in Afghanistan during the 80s and the destabilization of Afghanistan in the 90s, called the East Turkestan Islamic Movement. It's allied with Al-Qaeda right now in Syria. They're like working in the Idlib province in Syria with Al-Qaeda. They're formally allied with it. But the Trump administration removed this group from its list of terror groups. The U.S. listed it as a terror group when it went into Afghanistan. The Trump administration removed it and said it doesn't exist. This group doesn't exist. But the reality is, according to a United Nations Security Council report issued last June, that the ETIM, which has thousands of members in Syria, has hundreds of members and numerous allies in Afghanistan right now on the Chinese.
So I was close. It wasn't perfect, but the thesis of what I was warning about was how they were going to redirect, even if they pull out the foot soldiers, which if you want to give Biden props for doing that, you can do that. It's insignificant if you do that and you redirect it towards economic war. So that's why I said in the video, I'm like, they're gonna redirect it. They're gonna redirect the energy, because if they was openly saying they was not giving up on Afghanistan. That was the messaging that was coming in from Blinken and the Biden administration. They said we're gonna reduce troop levels, but we gotta change the strategy, the global neoliberal strategy. So they want to redirect their resources to fight in the Cold War, the cyber warfare against Russia and China, destabilize the global South as well, and then they can just put economic sanctions. And what Biden administration is doing, they are locking the funds of the Afghan government. So now you got 23 million Afghans that are about to starve, right? So that's what I was warning about. So I was saying, as an anti-imperialist, why would you praise Biden if he is still going to engage in economic warfare? And in my lifetime, and I just using that as a conservative estimate, in my lifetime, you can make the argument that economic warfare, has been more devastating to human life than hot war. That's been a new neoliberal strategy, and that's how they complicit in genocide. Look at Yemen. Look at the stranglehold they put in Palestine as well. And they put sanctions on Nicaragua and Honduras right now because they support a government that's not neoliberalism. They did they literally had a Cuban embargo that is responsible for billions and billions. Damn, what's the goddamn number again? Let's see. How much the embargo cost Cuba? can't remember all these numbers. So it cost them 4.8 billion per year. Oh wait, here, I think I found one. People who watch my live stream knows if I want to say something, I always want to back it up. U.S. trade embargo has cost Cuba 130 billion. UN says this is when you look at the pain and suffering that's caused by economic war, and I wanted to hear the counter argument, but I think it's 100% been more devastating than the hot war in my lifetime, right? If you look at 23 million Afghanistan citizens are about to die. What's the recent numbers in Yemen? Do you guys know? Yemen genocide. Let's see. How many people died? Like Biden's killed so many people in Yemen, and people was like pretend this guy is not fucking a war criminal. I'm just trying to see what the recent one. So here's one number. I'm gonna read the comments here soon, so I'll see what you guys think. The war has already caused an estimated 233,000 deaths. When was this? Because date matters a lot. See, this is old too, because it's actually worse now. This is 2 years ago. Can you imagine 3,000 child deaths in America? Can you guys imagine? I guess it happens, depending on how you want to measure it. But do you guys understand? Do you guys see the Western chauvinism and how imperialism is fueled by racism and indifference towards crime against humanity, against people who look like the other? If this was a white child, do you think people would be up in arms? Right? If 3,000 child deaths, and once again, these numbers are old. These numbers are old. So, yeah, I like this comment by Cruse. Look at the U.S. economic sanctions on its own citizens. That's the police state. If you support the police state, you support economic sanctions on your citizens. That's what it is. Because these same regressive fines and fees they put on the working class, like in their laws, if you're rich, it doesn't mean shit to you. Like these parking tickets, all these fucking fines they do for individual financial crimes that they don't even look into with the white working class, that don't mean shit to them. But if you're a working class person, that devastates you. So they sanctioning the working class. The drug war is a sanction on the working class. Savvy Savage in the house. People don't care about brown people far away. They don't care about them here. I got an interesting story I want to tell you guys. I want to expose the right wing populists who think they support freedom of speech, and they are super against critical race theory. But they're like, "Oh my God, I believe in freedom of speech." But now they're banning a lot of black authors now. A lot of black, because think about it, who is most likely to write about critical race theory? Very, very intelligent, very educated black people. So the result of the right-wing populist push to ban critical race theory, which is deeply anti-free speech, just shows they are hypocrites, has led to mass censoring of black authors. We're gonna cover that here very soon. You guys gotta stick with me because I gotta go back to Afghanistan. We're gonna talk about that here very soon. I'm gonna read some comments. I don't know how long the stream is gonna be tonight. I guess I'm gonna just go until I finish my stories, which who knows how long that's gonna take. I got a few stories planned for us today. Did I miss any good comments before I get back to the story? Nick at night is quite all right. Yeah, Nick with the same t-shirt. I don't got a ton of clothes, guys. If you guys watch my stream, you guys see the same like 5 to 6 shirts. I'm proletariat as fuck. Like every once in a while, I might wear like an Eat the Rich shirt, but just a few shirts, whatever. Like, bro, I don't buy clothes like that. I'm not into materialism. Yeah, Nick watching Nick. Oh Jesus! Thank you for shout carry. I had a lot of friends help me out, like Dr. Cream Patesh. I had a lot of friends who were into like you gotta listen to people, man. Like every person you see in your community, they got something that they can teach you. You like a lot of people who they run streams, their ego and a lot of the debate me bros, they sell themselves as I'm the know-it-all. I am the smartest one in the room. That's never been my mindset. That's why I brought a group of black leftists together. I'm like, you guys have stuff to teach me. Rome has shit to teach me. Sabi has stuff to teach me. JB has stuff to teach me. We got a lot of people. Josana taught me a lot about the struggles of indigenous people, the crimes of Bolsonaro. I learned about Brazil from her. We're gonna have a Saw Rod on Tuesday. I learned about Afghanistan. I learned a lot about Iran from her. Learn from your comrades, man. Don't be afraid of your neighbors. Maybe I should get to the main story here soon, because oh geez. So I think we pretty much covered Afghanistan. I gotta move on to the next story. This is what my friend Samira Khan tweeted out. Check, because once again, she's one of the few people that saw it too. Biden did not end the war in Afghanistan; he privatized it. That's exactly what we were saying. This came out last year, guys. And all the people who was praising Joe Biden, I'm like, why are you guys not talking about this? It said U.S. troops are scheduled to leave Afghanistan by September 11th, but contractors who make up America's largest force in the country are beefing up their presence just in time to plug the vacuum that will be left behind. Now, we got to do an update on this story because that was a year ago, but look at the story we just covered now. Look at the economic crimes against Afghanistan. Was the troops on the ground responsible for 23 million Afghans starving? It seems like the economic sanctions, you guys are destroying the country faster. This is another tweet that the Department of Defense issued nearly $1 billion in contracts to 17 companies related to work in Afghanistan that was set to continue past May 1st withdrawal date. So there are some people who are really anti-imperialists who saw through this, right? We're gonna continue to cover Afghanistan, like I do. I told you guys, I cover foreign policy, the class war. We're gonna cover that here very soon. Foreign policy, class war. Oh yeah, state violence. I almost forgot my own shit. So I totally want a deeply serious T-shirt. Maybe one of these days. I usually don't do a lot of that stuff though. Thank you for the shout out. That's also a great way to support the content. If you guys that's why I jumped on today. And we got panels. CJ got, I think, 2 panels tomorrow. CJ got a lot of good shows he does tomorrow. Thursday, we got the Revolutionary Blackout Live Roundtable. Me, JB, Sabby Sabs will be with us on Thursday. Rome, that's when he makes his appearance on Thursday. You guys can hear from his radical ass. But now we got the International Leftist Coalition panel on Thursday nights, late night with Nick and Kareem and Peter, my Hong Kong brothers. Kareem, man, he's too powerful. Peter, both of them are too powerful, man. Y'all don't know. They were just on Cyber Show too. All right, let's get into the next story. Can you guys share the stream for us too? I would never make a fashion. This is I want to plug my article too. Oh wait, oh shit. Let's go through this article. Let's have an education segment. I like calling these the education segment because let's actually dive through the numbers. The only way you can really memorize these numbers is if you read them multiple times anyway. Are Western wealthy countries determined to starve the people of Afghanistan? Remember all the liberal wine moms who was like, the Afghan women. The Afghan women. We got to keep our troops that are making life harder for Afghan people in order to support the Afghan women. This war that cannot be won. We want to take this country, Afghanistan, and make it a colonized 51st state. Essentially, that's the argument. If you ask people who support the Afghanistan war, what's your end game? How you win this war? Vibes, bro. Vibes. If we just chill here, I think we might win. They had no end game. We covered this multiple times. Let's read the article. So this is the relief fund, the $44 billion for Afghanistan humanitarian aid. And then now the United States is like, oh my God, we support the humanitarian aid. They use this as cover for the war crimes. Because, like, if you really want to help these people, unfreeze the Afghan government funds. It's literally that simple. And then they trying to do cover for these fucking war criminals. Because all these fucking aid programs they do, U.S. aid, they always just a front for imperialism. A few days after Taliban took power, the U.S. government announced the seizure of $9.5 billion in Afghan assets that was being held in the U.S. banking system. Who do you guys think that hurt? The Afghan oligarchs and Afghan warlords, that would be okay. The Afghan women they pretend they support, they are starving them to death. We are talking about Jim Crow Joe. This is the people like Vosh, people like Hassan Piker said that Joe Biden was the lesser of two evils. And we explained how the lesser of two evils is a bullshit argument. The lesser of two evil is still evil. In the argument that you're going to have the lesser evil with the guy who's complicit with every single war and genocide the United States have ever supported, Joe Biden and Anthony Blinken, is beyond absurd. Beyond absurd. But that's what they told us. Do you guys know Anthony Blinken and Joe Biden, they used to run sham hearings in order to drive up support for the Iraq war? And then when Bernie pressed him on his support for the Iraq war and Biden lied, Bernie let his friend off. He let his friend off the hook. Let's go to this paragraph here. It said 90% of the people live below the international poverty line of $2 a day. And since the beginning of 2001, the United States has spent $2.3 trillion in war efforts. Meanwhile, you got people who call themselves right wingers, who consider themselves fiscal conservatives. And also, this number is actually really low because the Pentagon has been audited. They had lost trillions more. So they just talking about Afghanistan, but we talking about trillions of dollars that neocons have wasted that could have went to our community. It could have went to make this a real future, the future that people in the 1950s and 60s looked at. When they looked at 2020, they thought we was like gonna have flying cars. They thought we were gonna have like way longer lifespans. Life expectancy in America and the Black community has fallen. In particular, we could do amazing things with these kind of resources. But the quote unquote fiscal conservatives, I would say throw it away, but they knew what they was doing. They didn't lose trillions of dollars. They didn't lose it. They funneled it to their friends in the weapon defense contractors industry, to the politicians, to industry. Trillion. Here, let's find it. Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous, guys. This is so ridiculous. The Pentagon's 35 trillion accounting black hole. Whoops. Whoops, we lost $35 trillion. Surely we shouldn't look into this. But tell me more about how we can't afford health care. Tell me more how we can't afford to end homelessness. And we got conservatives losing $35 trillion. And when I say conservatives, I'm talking about Joe Biden too. I'm talking about George Bush. I'm talking about Dick Cheney. I'm talking about Mike Pompeo. I'm talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Barack Obama. I'm talking about Joe Biden. So if you pick any of these people on your team, if you're a Republican or Democrat, you are deeply unserious. You're a clown if you support either one of these parties. The right-wing populists be like, man, Trump not that bad, bro. Trump says anti-war stuff. He literally undid a regulation that made it so it was harder to report on drone strike deaths because he was drone striking people so much, he knew it was going to look bad. He was droning more people than the drone strike king, Barack Obama. And name a bigger weapon defense contract shield than Donald Trump. Name a bigger someone who complicit with genocide and weapon deals than Trump. He made fun of Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail because he said, "Oh my God, the Clinton Foundation takes billions of dollars from Saudi Arabia." But then when he got in office, he took money from Saudi Arabia to his hotels, and then he gave them weapons deals. So if you support either one of these parties, you are a joke. Please snap out of your cognitive dissonance, and once you do, you are welcome aboard. But that's my thing. People are like, what do you believe in trying to win over Trump supporters? And we had this conversation before with a great friend, and I'm like, not really. I want to win over the 50% of independent registered voters. And then the other 50% of people who hate our system so much, they don't even vote because they're like, why should I vote? I don't give a fuck. Like, because most people, they see this game, they don't vote because they know it's bullshit. But then there's the other 50%, then divided among half between them, the Democrats and Republicans, they still fall for this shit. They still think Donald Trump gives a fuck about them. They still think Hillary Clinton gives a fuck about them. They think Joe Biden is a great guy. They think Joe Biden is they call him working class Joe, even though he was a show with the credit card companies. So if you can't break that cognitive dissonance, I will try to help you through my streams and through my speeches. Like I used to give speeches. I want to get back to that. I want to help you through that. But if you can't break it, I can't focus on you. I got to focus on the people who I can bring into the movement, right? I want to bring. I'm not gonna bring it up too much, but I'll tell you guys about people who gave up on the system, but they hear conversations about mutual aid from Rome and Finney and ourselves on Revolutionary Blackout, and they said, "Oh shit, I don't fuck with politics, but I fuck with that. I fuck with community building, which is what we are advocating for." I want to get into some comments, and then we get to the next story. I want to vote for candidates that sound like Nick. So many people were trying to get me to run after, because I was giving speeches in black barbershops. That's why I didn't buy the lie from the Nina Turner campaign when they went on the excuse making tour they usually do. They was like, "Oh my God, we lost because black people, they are conservatives. It's the blacks. The blacks are the reason why we can't get healthcare." That's like the subtle implication of what they're saying, right? But I was in quite literally the most conservative area in Black America, South Carolina, with Cyborg from the Justice League, preaching socialism to my community, to older Black people. Here, let me show you guys. Do I got show you guys the receipts? Because it sounds like I'm bragging if I do, but I always want to show you guys I'm not bullshitting you guys. Let's see if I can find it fast. But when I talk to these people, and that's why I told you guys I don't necessarily regret even my time canvassing for Bernie, because I was just using that as a tool. I use that as a tool to radicalize my community. This is my good friend Joan. Like, this is back, man. This gave me back. Oh shit. You guys know how hard it is to do a live stream with no producer? Shit sucks. How fast we've been demonetized? I've probably already been demonetized. I'm trying to see if I can find my damn. Be patient with me, guys. I'm all by myself. I'm trying to find my black barbershop story. I can't find it. I could if I search harder, but I got more stories to talk about. But anyway, you guys believe me, right? I was in South Carolina preaching to Black people in barbershops. So my point is, I didn't believe the narrative that come out that, oh my God, we lost because we can't win over Black voters. No, you guys just suck. You guys just suck at this. You guys are just not good at this. Because when I talk to these Black voters, I was literally just asking them, and the people that was there with me, maybe I'll bring them on my show one day. They will confirm. I would just go to people and I'll say, why don't you care about politics? What do you think the government is not doing for you? Like, what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? And then I talk to these Black people who have no health care, who boss not paying them shit, who are being victims of the police state. I talked to a lot of people. I said, yo, we want to end the drug war. We want to legalize marijuana. Bet, sign me up. I talked to a lot of people. I'm like, man, I want a living wage, bro. Once again, I pushed them to the left. I like, even beyond the Bernie campaign, because I was wrong about Bernie, right? So I was like, yo, I want to end the wars, bring that money back into the hood. Let's get some health care. You got student loans, right? We all have to take student loans because we don't got generational wealth. We want to cancel your student loans. But I was telling Black people this shit. in South Carolina, and they was like, hell yeah, this shit sounds great. It sounds great. Sign me up. The problem is, we was only one team. We could only reach so many people. But that's why people asked me to run, because I was like, bro, I was just converting people like that. I went to Iowa talking to people. I was canvassing in my hometown, right? But electoral politics is not going to lead to revolutionary change. I like what how you say her name? Kashama Suwant. Am I saying her name correct? I love Kashama Suwant's philosophy on this. If I'm going to be dead honest with you guys, because I like the idea of using electoral politics as a mechanism of creating and building worker class solidarity, like building a campaign that is ran through working class movements, like through people. Like you ran a campaign through the Amazon people who are organizing. So you guys know the Amazon workers, they was complaining about they couldn't get AOC to show up, and they gave up. So if you're a politician, if you're running, you should be showing so much solidarity to the Amazon workers, for example, to the point where they like, all right, bro, chill. all right, we get it. You don't have to be at all our events, bro. That's how it should be ran. You can't run with the intention of, oh my God, I'm trying to win over the milquetoast libs and I can win if I like hedge a little bit. This is what the squad did. They were progressive politics. You gotta run like fuck. I don't give a fuck about winning. I just want to radicalize as many people as possible. Let's sign people up to labor unions. Let's get people signed up for. Let's organize a general strike as a campaign movement. And we talk about this at the General Strike Summit. Like there are people who are addicted to electoral politics, even though they know it doesn't work. The reason why they love electoral politics is because they are kind of addicted of the campaign cycle. They love going out and canvas. They love phone banking. They love talking about polls. They love doing projections. They love the thrill of the election day. So we can explain all the reasons why electoral politics sucks, but they don't want to get rid of it. So our argument is like, okay, let's run a workers campaign. So you know the same thing we do when we run a political campaign, when we want to pretty much give some motherfucker a career. Like you guys invest money in march for voting rights, Democrat voting rights that destroy third parties in order to give some motherfucker a career. That's what you guys are doing. Not to empower worker class movements. That's the goal of the Justice Democrats, is to elect more Justice Democrats so more of them can be part of the club. Then the media figures, the TYTs, they apologize for them so they can have access. Then since they have access, then they can get the interview with Ilhan Omar. Then they can get an interview with AOC. This is how they can get access to events, right? So my argument is, and the only value that electoral politics have, the little bit I'll give it, maybe the 15% of effort I think should be put into electoral politics, should be you having a campaign that is ran on the working class. Like, you know how we canvass? The same way I canvass for Bernie Sanders, instead of doing that, canvass for a general strike. Canvass for the Kellogg's Worker Fund. If you want to end the wars, we got to canvass for end the wars. Hey, knock on the doors, like, bro, you know how much money we spend on the military? If you want to end ICE, you got to knock on doors, like, bro, you see what ICE is doing? You see the sexual assaults at the border that they are complicit with? If you want to boss the CIA, knock on doors and then tell people about the CIA, right? But now I'm getting to the weeds, right? Let's get into some comments. I must move on. I must move on. We are 1 hour in, and I still didn't get into the main story. We're gonna cover. If you guys are watching, stick with us. I'm gonna cover the Democrat voters' shocking authoritarianism. Because I guess the first hour was a good preface to all this, right? It was a good preface of what I'm talking about. Damn, I just closed the fucking my fucking article about share. So I guess I'll read some comments, and then I'll get back to the main story. We didn't cover the main story. We're gonna cover the Democrat Party authoritarianism because the COVID war broke their brain. This is gonna make some people mad, but the people who get mad at the segment I'm about to do, if you're mad at me criticizing the people I'm about to criticize, you're scary. Like I don't even want to. And you guys know what I'm talking about very soon. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm gonna read super chat, but I'm gonna tweet the stream out because YouTube always the reason why if you guys on Twitter, you guys see I always tweet it out. The reason why I do that is because YouTube, like people tell me don't get notifications shit from this, so they always messing with us. Okay. We're just preparing the next story. I'll make people mad. You guys on Twitter retweet this. Okay. All right, first I'll get the super chat. Now I'll do the story. Thank you for the super chat once again, Ajura. What's the difference between mutual aid and grifter capitalist pro-left fascism and all ism who cries and play video games with teenagers? I love you, Ajura. I love you, Ajura, man. But you just trying to set me up. you know. If you watch Revolutionary Blackout and you watch Majority Report, the guy who actually got, you guys saw the video we put out where on him on MSNBC. Can you guys imagine? Like I'm an hour in now. Can you imagine if MSNBC gave me an hour? Can you guys understand how fast I would be pulled? Do you understand how many phone calls the president of that country, that company would get or whatever? It will never happen. But why would they even trust to put you on MSNBC? Because if I was on MSNBC and I asked you guys this, what will you cover in your hour? And you guys would get mad at me. You guys would be like, "Oh my God, Nick sold out. Nick took an MSNBC contract." And I'm like, wait. Trust me, guys. Trust me. And I'll take the contract. I'll do the hour, and you will see the cable cut out. The cable will cut out. The sound will go off. Because my first segment I would do is about why we should abolish the CIA. Then I would do a segment kind of similar to what I just did earlier, explaining why Joe Biden is the most anti-black politician in the modern era. I'm gonna talk about the war crimes of the Black Congressional Caucus and what they're complicit with, because I know a lot of black boomers watch MSNBC. And then I think at that point, then they were gonna pull the plug, and it's gonna be hilarious. So if I take that MSNBC contract, I didn't sell out, guys. I was just want to blow the mind of the liberals, right? So Nick not covering Russiagate. Like Sam Cedar went on and covered Russia. Anyway, I did the segment. Check out the segment. Check out the segment I did on Cedar on MSNBC. Because I'm an hour in. You guys are trying to get me to go off. Welcome back, Deborah. Good friend. Thank you for catching me live. Hope let me know how the stream is going, because I'm running solo today. Oh my God. I figured, you guys know when I be on panels, I talk too damn much. I am aware of that. So when I go solo, it helps me like stop doing that, because I need a stream where I can just get it out. So then when I have my live stream with Kareem Batesh, and when we have our roundtable on Thursday, maybe I will shut the fuck up, right? So let me do my next story. I was preparing for it. So we're gonna actually get into the main story. I think we're at the peak. We're at the peak of the live stream right now in terms of viewers. So we get into the main story. I guess that's the best way to do it, because it takes you guys a while to get in here sometimes. I'm gonna bullshit with you guys, and then we get into the main story an hour in. So hold on, let me prepare for it real quick. And then so my next topic is talking about how the COVID-19 culture war broke the minds of Democrats. And let's discuss. Let's discuss. He said Nick went past the DNC suitability screening filter. Yeah, I'm saying we all know there's zero chance they'll ever put me on MSNBC. They put Ben Dixon on. They put Ben Dixon on MSNBC. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I'm also, if I last that long after my segment against the Black Congressional Caucus, then I'm gonna do a segment on abolishing ICE. I think that's a good one. Talking about the ICE immigration system. I did abolish CIA. I don't know. We got a lot. I think that'll cut me off at that point. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do my defund the police segment. I'm gonna release a segment in a few days for my last live stream. Well, I can debunk all this shit, man. So I'm gonna do a segment pretty much calling out the police state. But anyway, let me I'm gonna get ready for a story. Let's see. So they had a poll that came out. And the only thing I care about as a Marxist, right, is the betterment of my community. I want policies that is going to help us out in a pandemic and a global health event. The only thing that matters to me is making sure people are safe, making sure we're not reducing the quality of life through policies that are designed to just protect the system, right? So whenever I talk about these issues, I always try to be careful because I know there's this growing COVID-19 culture war that is beyond annoying, that has destroyed worker class solidarity, and honestly, for good reason, because there are some people who are losing their fucking mind. There are people on the right who don't believe they should make any community sacrifice. Because as a Marxist, I'm sorry, guys, I do believe you should make community sacrifice for the betterment of your community. But I also went on the Jimmy Dore show and I explained why, as a leftist, I'm also against mandates. Like I feel like, and this is my argument, same as Richard Wolff. If you look at neoliberal mandates, if you look at the neoliberal style of combating COVID, they do not have the working class in mind. They are firing a countless amount of healthcare workers. They are destroying the working class. Like, this is not a pro-worker approach. The ACLU and left-wing movements explained this years ago before they changed their ideology in order to cuddle the Biden administration. So now, back in the day, the ACLU and leftist organizations, we said if you have good public policy, and for example, like Medicare for all, for example, if you're providing food to people, if you're providing checks to people in the middle of a pandemic, instead of allowing their business to be destroyed, instead of allowing people to go bankrupt, instead of letting people go homeless, take care of your people. Take care of your people, build trust through not lying to your people, unlike Dr. Fauci, and then you won't need mandates. You won't need mandates. Cuba don't have mandates. I was talking to Pasta about that. I was talking to a lot of different people in the global south. If you look at China, I was talking to Dr. Cream about this. They don't need it because they know their government is taking care of their people. China had lockdowns. Like I said, I'm still, when it comes to lockdown, I'm 100% against neoliberal lockdowns. But when you look at China, you have people that was being financially taken care of. You have food delivery systems and lockdowns in China. And then because they did it right, they will lock down for a very short amount of time. And now they're back open again. That Kareem tells story all the time. Like it's honestly back to normal. Like if you just so happen to catch it, you just do your quarantine. But for the most part, the COVID numbers are non-existent. Like it's pretty much done because they did it right for the first time. Because they care about public health. Now, for the vaccine code, for the people who love Joe Biden and his policy towards COVID, if you think Dr. Fauci and you think Joe Biden gives a fuck about public health, you are deeply unserious. And you abandon every single tenet of leftism. So now you trusting Big Pharma? That's what we're doing. I'm trying to think, what's the number? So every decision they made was for politics. And I'm going to explain this here very soon. I'm going to get into the poll numbers because this is why I'm talking about this. You got to know, if you look at Big Pharma, they made $60 billion in sales over the vaccines. You guys think that had nothing to do with profit? And once again, and my position is, if you are in a position where if you are compromised, if you're scared about COVID, which I think is serious, I said earlier before, I think as a Marxist, it's your job as someone who believes in community to make sacrifices for the betterment of your community. This is what I believe. So if you believe that you need to take the vaccine, you should take it. That's what I believe. But the idea of a neoliberal capitalist establishment that is paid off by Big Pharma and Dr. Fauci that destroyed the AIDS crisis going to tell us what to do, you are out of your mind. And you're going to take their side? You're going to take their side. And now, instead of looking at Big Pharma, instead of looking at Dr. Fauci, instead of looking at our neoliberal government that could have gave us healthcare that would have saved over 1/3 of the people who died in this pandemic, you got people who say, oh my God, we need COVID mandates because of hospital beds. Well, if you guys didn't cut hospitals in the 80s, if you guys didn't cut them out hospitals, if you guys wouldn't cut Medicaid like Andrew Cuomo did, you guys see how instead of blaming the unvaccinated, which I will not, I won't blame them. I'm blaming the establishment, because if you guys actually didn't give all the money to the billionaires and to Wall Street and to Pentagon, and we had hospitals, the whole thing about hospital beds being overflow wouldn't even be a thing. How many more healthcare workers would we have if we had free public college? If we had a system where people are trapped and can't go to debt to go to college? If we had a system where people can actually upward transfer and get in health and become a healthcare worker, and we pay healthcare workers double their wages, then we pay them hazard pay, we make these motherfuckers really the heroes. Make them really the heroes, unlike the bullshit you guys say. Make them. You should make being a healthcare worker one of the most sought off jobs. Because now it's hell. They quitting en masse because it's not fucking worth it. They pay them like shit. They treat them like shit. Then they're like, oh my God, these people are essential workers. And then they shit on them, right? Later when they ask for a pay raise. So under my ideology, instead of wasting $35 trillion that we spend to the Pentagon, instead of getting all this money via trickle-down economics to the capitalist class, we would be having a completely, like, it's even hard to imagine the kind of healthcare system I'm imagining, because I'm talking about triple, double, like the amount of resources we're putting in. Medicare for All was the moderate position. I'm talking about fully nationalized, well-funded, well-organized healthcare system with well-paid for healthcare workers. We got a ton of hospitals, right? Alex, thank you for this comment. I am a nurse. I know about abusive work environments. Thank you for your gospel there. This is what I'm talking about. They treat them like shit. In my society, these are the people that, like, you know how they treat politicians and judges and cops like they're the, oh my God, we got to give them a cop discount. We got to treat cops like they're amazing. No, that should be healthcare workers, right? So now I'm just getting to the very first part of the solution here, right? So if you guys are like, oh my God, we got to have mandates because the hospital beds, bitch, fix the system before you start blaming workers. What else was I saying? Oh yeah, the Richard Wolff argument was, the old school left argument was, I already explained it, right? You gotta build trust. Give people shit. Give them checks. Give them food. We can do it. Then people will start trusting you. And then you're not gonna need the mandates because we've seen that in action. So let me get to the main story, because I think that's a long preface, right? All right, I'm all over the place. So let's get to this. This is the poll to show how the COVID culture war has broke the brains of so many people. So many people. Look at this shit. If you are not opposing this, I'm not on your side. I don't know what to say. So in a survey of a recent poll, 55% support fines against the unvaccinated. Once again, this makes sense if you're a shitlib to me. If you're a Dr. Fauci bro, if you got like wallpapers and shit hung up with Dr. Fauci, if you're a Biden bro, that makes sense. That's neoliberalism. This is the war against the working class that they always endorse. But if you're a leftist, if you're a progressive, if you're anti-authoritarianism, and you're for a regressive fine against the unvaxxed for a vaccine that protects them? What are we doing? What are we doing? Now we get even more absurd. 59% support house arrest. We went backwards, man. We just had a giant defund the police movement. We have people that are protesting the police state. So once again, the neoliberals, if you're a Biden bro, you're a big police state goon, right? So it makes sense that you support this. It makes sense that Biden bro support this. But if you're a progressive, you watching this, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe Nick is going there. Nick is going against Fauci. Nick is going against Big Pharma. How dare he? If you're one of those people, you went from going against the police state, now you support giving people house arrest. Are you serious? Oh God, why didn't I need to get that? Why is it not disappearing? Damn. So 48% support prison for questioning vax efficacy. So I messed that up. So this is probably the most insane thing I have ever heard in politics and in probably the last few years. I am not bullshitting you. This number does not say 48% support prison for people who are not unvaccinated. It said 48% support prison for people who question the vax narrative. So you could be vaxxed, but then question the narrative, and they support sending you to prison. If you are an abolitionist right now, there are many people who like to cosplay as abolitionists. A lot of weak people I've seen who are Democratic Party shills who are repeating Big Pharma talking points now, right? If you're an abolitionist and you're cheering this shit on, what the fuck are you doing? This is quite literally everything we advocate against. You guys are advocating for so let's walk through this. Let's walk through your ideology here. And I will see if this makes sense. I support the vaccine, which I do. I think a lot of people go crazy over this shit for no reason, to be honest. But you push the vaccine because I want to help people. I want you to have the vaccine so you don't get sick and die. This is what you believe, and I think you should take the vaccine so you don't get sick and die. Because I care about you. So your ideology is, I want you to take the vaccine because I care about you. But if you don't listen to me, I'm going to destroy your life. I am going to destroy your life if you don't listen to me on this. Can someone explain this to me? 45% support internment camps. 47% support surveilling people. What does that even accomplish? How does that even get them vaccinated? What? Let me know if this string get taken down. You guys know they about to be pissed. 29%. This actually, we got 1A. I think the third one, putting people in prison for questioning the narrative. And this one, let me know which one you think is crazier. I think the first one is, at least this number a little bit lower, right? But 3 out of 10 is not enough. 29% support the state taking people's kids because they are unvaccinated. Jesus fucking Christ. I want to mandate vaccines because I care about you. I want you to protect your family. I want to protect your family, right?
Oh, man, you getting hot out here searching.
Sorry, I got roommates here. I don't tell them to be quiet, but like, bro, damn. Damn. Where was I? Fuck. Sorry. As I was saying, 29% support the state taking kids. So let's walk through that ideology. I support vaccine mandates because I want the best for your family and your kids. But at the same time, if you don't follow the direction of the mandates, I am going to take your kid and traumatize the shit out of him. I'm going to traumatize the shit out of your kid. And studies show and I've talked to people who went through the adoption system. The numbers show the people who go through those systems, especially late in life. Imagine if you're a teenager and someone your parent lose custody of you. You go through now you gotta go through the adoption system. People go or get traumatized because of that. People are more likely to go homeless. You're harder to get a job. These are the studies. So this is why I said earlier on this segment, if you upset at me, if you're part of the vaccine cult, you didn't get upset at me at this segment. If you are not raising the flag as an abolitionist, hell, as a human being against the idea of taking someone's kids because they didn't take a vaccine that just protects themselves. Oh my God, I'm worried about. We gotta punish the unvaccinated. We gotta have a new Jim Crow system. We gotta destroy their rights because they're not taking the vaccine because that will make me sick. You got the vaccine. The vaccine protects you. You said studies show if you get the vaccine, you are good. You are good for the most part. This coming from the Biden administration. This comes from the CDC. Since I'm on YouTube, I have to say this. If you get the vaccine and you get COVID-19, you are good for the most part, right? So if you got the vaccine, why are you trying to ruin the life of people who don't got the vaccine? I would love to hear. I would love to hear it. Voss tried to explain this to Franco. Franco, he was on Savage show. Actually, he was on our shows on Friday. Franco debated Voss on vaccine mandates and the COVID policies and on which one is the leftist position. And that was another debate he rage quitted. There's no justification as a leftist for this shit. And a lot of you people are so scared. Some of you people are so caught up in the COVID culture war. You guys are not even using basic common sense shit. Let's see if I can find my my segment on Jimmy. Because I talked about this live on Jimmy in front of a shit ton of people. Let's see. Hopefully I can find it. It's gonna be pretty hard. Shit. Because I was making the argument, the left-wing argument against mandates. I can make it again if I can't find the video. Damn. Give me a few moments here. And it'd be really hard. Joe Rogan did a reaction video when me and Jimmy Dore did. We were dissing Ken Klippenstein. If I can't find the video, I'll just move on. Because I'm gonna explain to you guys my position, and it wasn't a position that I like made super lightly, right? Oh man, this would be really hard. I think I know. And I'll read the chat here soon. We almost done with these stories. Like, so I didn't know how long it was gonna go today, but I just want to get through my stories because I'm gonna cut them up. I know you guys been asking for more clips. Here it is. This guy have Jimmy Dore derangement syndrome. One of the many people, and he one of the people who, despite hating Jimmy Dore and despite hating podcasters, these people watch Jimmy Dore more than anyone. These people watch podcasts more than anyone, despite the fact that they claim to hate him. So this is me explaining my position as a leftist, right? And then I'll get into some comments. Explain the real problem that's going on, and Russia is not responsible for 1/4 of the world's prison population. Russia is not the country that is shooting and killing black people with impunity. Old school liberal playbook, and Rachel Maddow has made millions doing this. That's right. Rachel Maddow, she makes more in one episode than I did in my entire year back when I was in retail. So they are paid by the establishment to say whatever the establishment want. And she loyal. All these people are very class loyal. They all play the divide and conquer game, and that's representative of their coverage of COVID-19. Because if you listen to us at Friend and Leftists, we rather punch them. We rather explain the real problem that's going on. And there was a study that that came out that showed that 1/3 of the COVID-19 deaths would have been prevented if we had a universal healthcare program.
That's right.
But you notice that these people never bring that up.
Never.
They want to punch down and they want to make this a partisan game where they're pretending, oh, you have Trump supporters and you have people that take ivermectin. That is the problem. No, if the problem is capitalism, because capitalism is not designed to handle a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want you to have that conversation. They want you to blame your neighbor. They want you to blame, oh, the vaccine is going to be the one to stop COVID-19, even though that never made sense on face value. And you had the same people like Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. They was very skeptical of the vaccines at first and saying the same thing. But it's all politics with these people. They're not actually talking about the real solutions. The solution of actually having a progressive economy where people don't lose their jobs, don't lose their homes because you guys instituted lockdowns without any sort of social safety net to protect people. Like this kind of stuff is the fault of the ruling class. We are in the position we are in right now because of the ruling class, not your neighbor who took ivermectin. What's hilarious about this guy who had Jimmy Dore derangement syndrome, he put this video out like I was wrong, like I wasn't fucking nailing it right there. I think that was my response, and like he did pretty well. He got pretty. Everyone was like, "Bro, he said Nick falsely denied that anti-vaxxers are to blame for the pandemic." He said, "Oh my God, Nick, you're not blaming the average person. You're not blaming the workers. Nick, how dare you blame the system? Nick is blaming Joe Biden. I can't believe it." Nick said, "If we had universal healthcare system, people would say, oh, him, it's the unvaxxed." He tweeted this out like it was a banger. That's the funniest thing. He said, "We are in the position right now because the ruling class, not your neighbor who took ivermectin." He quoted that like that wasn't like that's not true as fuck. I couldn't find the video of my here. Someone said link the tweet. I'll link it. I'll link it in the chat. Here, I'll link it. I thought I can't find the video. While I was on the Jimmy Dore show. I'll talk about the mandates too, and my argument was, and the reason why I want to bring this up because it relates to this poll. I was on Jimmy's show, and I was explaining how one of the reasons why I don't support mandates is because as an abolitionist, the best way you're going to support these mandates in the long term is the expansion of the police state. So you got to continue to ask yourself, as someone who anti-authoritarianism, right? You got to ask, you got to say, what is the end game? What do you want to do with someone who say, I will not take the vaccine no matter what you say? Once again, it does not matter if you agree with that person or not. It does not matter. It does not matter. So if some person say, I will not take the vaccine no matter what do you want to do? So when I was on Jimmy's show, I explained there's people who want to ban people from grocery stores. I don't remember the exact number. Maybe I should look it up here. If you guys know, let me know in the chat. But there was a very significant amount of Democrats who wanted to ban the unvaccinated from grocery stores. So what, guys, think about this. If you're a single mom with 2 kids and you're unvaccinated, what do you guys think she's getting her food? You think she's hunting? So you guys want, in order to protect her family, you want to bar her from getting food so her family will starve. How does that make sense as a leftist? So my argument was, I know people are like, I don't believe in going that far, but you got to keep asking, how far are you willing to go? How far are you willing to go to punish the unvaccinated? And as I've shown you with this poll, that I'll read one more time to wrap up the article. Right? This is my tweet response. I'll read it one more time so new viewers know what I'm talking about. Come on. No, man, come on. Google just stop responding. The computer just froze. This is gay. Well, Chrome did. God damn it. Hopefully my stream's still out. Okay. What the fuck? What? Okay, I'm back. I think I'm back. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? This is why I need a studio, man. I don't got good technology, guys. So I'm back. I think everything working now. Thankfully, my computer just froze up, but we're back. We are back. So let's read the tweet. Let's read the tweet again. We are live, and I am by myself with shitty ass technology, just running against the evils of the system. So this is my tweet. Here it is. I was about to share this before we got fucked up. I claim. Here, let me zoom in. If you're an abolitionist and not raising the flag about the insane rise of authoritarianism and the hatred for one neighbor as a result of COVID-19 culture war, you need to get in the fucking game. This is horrifying. And there's so much people who are not educated. I don't blame them because of propaganda on like what like abolition theory and community building means. Like, how can you be a socialist? How can you be a communist if you hate your neighbor? That doesn't even make sense. How are you going to build the movement required to take on global capitalism? If you were like, oh my God, I hate this guy because he don't got the vaccine. I want to destroy people's lives. So if you're one of the people that say, oh my God, hashtag defund the police, if that's your position and you're silent on this right now, if you're not in the game calling out the authoritarianism on the Democratic Party, you're sleeping at the wheel in a horrific way. That's why we have to have a platform. That's why I have to do what I'm doing. Because there's so many people on the left that they are not talking about these serious issues. In fact, they'd rather take the side of the vaccine code. And I think I have a very, very nuanced position on this. Because as a Marxist, I believe your role is to do the best for your community. So the people who advocate for like, oh my God, I'm not gonna do shit. I'm not gonna wear masks. I don't give a fuck about. If you're one of those people, that's just clownish to me, man. Like, you should care about other people. You should care about masks because you don't want to get other people sick. Like, that's my position. Period. Like, you should care about your community. But at the same time, our government shouldn't fucking mandate it, right? How is that position unrational? Because there's some people who are against anti-mask. Can someone explain that to me? I want to listen, but I don't get it. It's a mask. That should keep my face warm in the winter. I actually don't mind it. Alex said the masks do not prevent this virus from spreading. Didn't they have a lot of success in Japan with masks? I don't like. I'm asking you guys. Like, to me, like, and even if masks don't do that much to prevent the spread, why would you make fun of someone for wearing masks? Why would you get mad at masks? Because it's like, bro, it's not a big deal. It keep my face warm. It's just cold. I don't know. To me, it makes sense. Like, shit, I have my mask in public, and I'll be coughing and shit sometimes. He said no good sign support mask. Okay, I'm not gonna fight you on that. I'm not fighting you guys, but it seems like if I have a mask on, if I sneeze, that prevent my germs from spreading. But I don't know. My point is, I don't believe in mandates because I think you should do enough for your community in the first place. So I don't support the COVID like apathetic people. I'm not on your side either necessarily, to be honest. Because my thing is, I don't hate my neighbors. I want to do best for my community. I don't want to be like, you see them videos, and I guess this is on the stream side. You see the videos of the people like coughing on people. Like, what are you doing? I guess that is stream. But it's like, I think the left position is advocate for the workers, advocate against the surveillance state, advocate against mandates, but do the best you can to stop the spread. And if you don't think masks stop the spread, okay, that's okay, whatever. But do your best. If you're not trying, like, you should at least try, right? Can you guys at least agree to that? That people should at least try to stop the spread. And I'm saying this on top of everything I just said. Well, I'm saying fuck the government COVID response, and we can actually go a long way. We just had healthcare. We had solid mutual aid systems, housing, right? But anyway, I guess I'll move on because I'm going down a spiral here. But I feel like my position is not even that disagreeable. But once again, the COVID culture war broke people's brain. Man, I'm just looking at how many stories I got left to do tonight. There's no way I can do it, man. No way. Fuck. I jumped on stream today because I had so much stories to prepare to talk about. CJ be live all day tomorrow. I guess we gotta go a little bit long. How do you guys feel? How you guys feel about the stream? I got like some. God damn it. People always ask how Joe Rogan did 3 hours. I'm like, man, I do these 2 hour streams. I don't feel like it's enough sometimes to get through all the stories I want to talk about because I kind of brought a lot of stuff. I guess I'll quickly go through this. I'll quickly go through this part because I think this back up my thesis. Before I do that, I'll read some comments. But my boy Jackson, he does like 3-4 hour live streams. So I was on his Forced to Vote live stream he did, the 1 year anniversary. And I was the second guest he had on. But then he eventually had Jimmy Dore on. He had the Combo Couch on. And then he was on for like 6 hours. So Jackson can do 6 hours. I can do at least 3, right? I don't know. You guys got to at least show support, man. If I'm putting this much time, because my plan is because I hear the criticism, or at least I wouldn't say criticism, but more like suggestion you guys have, where you guys say you guys should post more clips. So I'm thinking I want to do these segments so I can post more clips on YouTube later. So I may do a long stream. I might do long streams like these, and then just post them on clips later, and then you guys see me again on Thursday. I think that's what we're gonna do. Let's just see if we can finish the stream. Well, at least finish the story. This is okay. So we talking about COVID and the COVID culture war. I do have another part that I gotta talk about. Thank you guys for sticking with me tonight. Tomorrow my day off, so I might as well go long today. One of the reasons why I developed my position as a leftist regarding this entire COVID culture war, and the reason why it always upset me when I see people engaged in it, and I explain my position as someone who I care about our community, right? When I see the establishment, and from day one, I don't understand why people don't understand this. From day one, they only cared about politics. There was never the goal of public health. This is why I don't understand people who are so fucking authoritarian and confrontational against people who question the COVID narrative. Because my argument is these people don't give a fuck about us, and the country is spiraling under the control of both Republican and Democrat because they have failed us. So let me explain to you guys, hopefully really quick, what happened and why the United States is getting like 1 million COVID cases per day, why things are so fucked up. So when Donald Trump was in office, the only thing that the Democratic Party and their sycophants cared about was getting Trump out of office. If you guys think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who are against Medicare for all and universal health care, you think they care about public health, you are a clown and you are deeply unserious. The same people who want to attack people and they want to imprison you for questioning the vaccine narrative. These same people, Kamala Harris herself, and many liberals, as shown by the Defiant L's profile on Twitter, a lot of these people was promoting vaccine hesitancy on their Twitter profile. They were saying under Trump, they would say, if you take the vaccine under Donald Trump, you are crazy. This is what Brooklyn Dad said. Kamala Harris said, I'm not taking the vaccine under Trump. So you see that? So when Donald Trump was about to get the political benefit of the vaccine, it was important for the Democratic Party to undermine it. And then the same thing happened when Joe Biden took office. Joe Biden took office. Now Trump was defeated, and now the right wing, okay, we're going to take the vaccines full throttle. And you guys know why I say this? Because listen to the narrative come from Donald Trump. The narrative come from Donald Trump is that, hey, you guys, we should be supporting the vaccines. His crowd was getting a little rowdy at Donald Trump because he promoted the booster. He said you guys should get the booster, you guys should get the vaccine, And you guys should have pride in the vaccine because this is the Trump vaccine. You guys see this? You guys see how this is starting to become about politics? So I have a theory. I can't really prove it. But I promise you, if Trump won, him and his party be pushing the mandates, they be pushing the vaccines and all this shit. Because it'll be in their best interest to push the burden on the worker and on the everyday working class person on why the government is failing instead of them. So the reason why the Biden administration is blaming the pandemic on the unvaccinated because they don't want to shift the blame on the people who really destroyed our COVID response, the people who really looted the treasury during this pandemic. Now I want to get to the story to show you guys what I mean. Billionaires added $5 trillion to their fortunes during the pandemic. $5 trillion. Once again, we could pay for healthcare, which would save a third of the life with that money. We could have housed people, which would have helped slow the spread. We could have paid people to stay home and gave them food, which would stop slow the spread. These are things that China did. These are things that Cuba did. These are things that countries did that didn't have to rely on the mandate because at that point, the American people lost all their trust in them. So when Donald Trump was in charge, the Democrats was very happy to tank the economy because once the economy is tanked because of neoliberal lockdowns where billionaires siphon the wealth from the working class, people will vote against Trump en masse. And Donald Trump and the right wing are such idiots. If all they did was end the drug war, end the homelessness crisis, and give people health care, Donald Trump would have beat Joe Biden by a landslide. But what did Donald Trump do instead? Instead, Donald Trump ran a campaign where he pretended Joe Biden was some secret far left winger. He was trying to pretend that Bernie Sanders, AOC, and the squad was running the Bernie Sanders campaign. He was like Joe Biden is secret Antifa. Instead of providing for his people in the middle of a pandemic. So he lost. Because the Democrat Party was also complicit in helping him. When the Democrats saw Trump go off on the COVID war, they couldn't be happier. They couldn't be happier. Let's focus on this instead of the pandemic. So let's focus on this instead of our billionaire wealth donors that we are complicit with. Nancy Pelosi with the CARES Act giving billions to trillionaires, which the squad was complicit with. Instead of blaming that, now we can blame Trump for the economy. So now what happened? What happened now we got Biden in? So I want to explain to you guys why they're unserious. So when Donald Trump was in office, they did everything they could to destroy the economy with these neoliberal lockdowns. And this is why you see Max Blumenthal, this is why you see Jimmy Dore criticize the neoliberal lockdowns, because they are designed to destroy businesses and the working class. But if you look at the lockdowns that leftist countries have done, like in China, where they actually did food drives, I'm gonna see if I can find a video where they were literally feeding people. People got housing in these countries. No homeless spraying the virus. So I am of the position of you can pay people to start the spread. There's right-wing business owners that saying, hey, if you pay me to stay home so my businesses stay afloat, I wouldn't care. It's the fact that you guys abandoned us. And do not get it twisted. Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party did it on purpose to tank Trump. But now that Joe Biden is in office and now they need to run on 2022, guess what they're doing? We got to get the CDC to reduce the quarantine time from 10 days to 5. What? Even though from day 5 on, that's when you at your sickest. They're doing that because unlike under Donald Trump, when they was like, all right, we want to have a zero COVID policy. So they wanted to take the economy under Donald Trump, but when Joe Biden took office, now we want to be complicit with capital. We want the CDC and they did this earlier on too. This is not the first time. The first time they did this is when they reduced the social distancing. What was it from like 10 feet to 5 as well? No, was it? I think it was 6 to 3, right? 6 feet to 3 feet. They did this so Biden can open schools. And remember, under Donald Trump, everyone was saying, oh my God, Donald Trump wants to open schools. He's crazy. And then Joe Biden opened school and everyone was like, we got to do it because the economy. I told you guys, Joe Biden is just like Donald Trump. If anyone think otherwise, you was unserious. You are unserious. They have the same policy on COVID. They want to do everything they can to keep the economy open when they are in charge. He's in charge, so he want to keep the economy open. When Trump was in charge, he wanted to fucking close it and destroy businesses. So the liberal media that crucified Trump for his open the school policy, for his policy trying to get people back to work. This is what they are writing now that Biden is president. Look at this propaganda from NBC. Some with recent COVID diagnosis are finding that contracting the illness they worked so hard to dodge for so long has brought them an unexpected reprieve from anxiety instead of compounding it further. They cannot be more transparent. So when someone caught COVID under Donald Trump, oh my God, Donald Trump is responsible for this. Oh my, you should freak out, be afraid, stay home. We gotta lock down the country, lock down businesses. We gotta do everything we can to control the virus. But then when Biden is in charge, they're writing articles like, actually, when you get COVID, actually people are relieved because they realize, actually, I got COVID now. I can go back to work. Not that big of a deal. Do the people are in the vaccine code? Do you guys understand how even if you have good intentions, the media is misleading you? They are lying to you in order to cover for the Democratic Party. When we had these unchecked COVID policies under Donald Trump, the media ran the death count every day. Joe Biden himself has said every single COVID death is on Donald Trump because he wanted to open the economy and get people back to work. Every COVID death is on him. But now Biden has flubbed the COVID response as we predicted. So now he's saying, oh, it's on you, Jack. It's the pandemic of the unvaccinated. There's no federal response. We need a state level response. But go ahead, progressive. Keep covering water for these fucking frauds. I got one more story to do. I tell you, I'm going as long as it takes for me to cover these stories. Fuck it. Because I have to tie these stories together. I read comments first, and then I'm gonna tie these things together. Let's see, you guys. What's your thoughts on my last segment? This guy said, sorry, I need a drink. Joe Biden could do so many things with executive power. And this is what we marched for. So thank you for this comment. This is a great comment. That's what we marched for. Declaring an emergency to expand Medicare, eliminating student loans, giving people $2,000 checks. Literally, if you did those things, Democrats easily win. Not even close. Not even close. But they don't care about winning. It's all about the grift. Much love to my friend Quaker Anarchist. I'm giving you a public invite. I need to have you on Saturday. I still need a guest Saturday. Oh yeah, I got an announcement Friday. We're gonna talk about mutual aid. We're gonna talk about police abolition with 10 demands. Zoya Awkward should be back on Friday. Saturday, I'll be back. If I don't have a guest, we're doing this again, I guess. But Quaker Anarchist is a great friend of the show. You guys, I'm playing a long shift tonight. CJ got tomorrow. But if you guys want to support me, that's the best way to do it. Cashapp, SocialistMMA. And also got multiple articles I'm working on my Substack. And then, like I said, I'm out here hustling, guys. So if you guys want to support an independent journalist, that's the best way to do it. Subscribe to my Substack. All my articles are free, but if you do the paid subscription, that's showing solidarity. we don't do tiers. We give all content to everyone. So if you just sign up for something, that is solidarity, and we appreciate it. So let's go on with some more comments, and then I'll get into the last story. So we got 2 hours. So I don't think it's gonna be 3 hours, but I at least got to cover this story. This is a must cover. You gotta see why soon. Funny thing happened this week, Nick. Biden did the same thing, but Trump and Cuomo did, hiding COVID numbers now. It was on Biden bro Kyle Kalinske. Yep. They do the same thing. That's why I told you guys the concept of Trump derangement syndrome is ridiculous because it's the concept that Trump is somehow different than them. They all do the same shit. Donald Trump did the same thing as Cuomo. Donald Trump did the same thing as Biden. Biden lies the same way Trump does. It's ridiculous, the idea. You guys laughing at my drink. I drank energy drink because it's a long stream. I might have to smoke another bowl, to be honest, before I do the story. I just appreciate the solidarity as well in the chat. You think that this could be the end of the Democratic Party? I wish I could say that. I think we're back in the cycle again. We're back in the Matrix. You know, the thing where we have a crazy Republican tyrant. This happened multiple times in my lifetime already. So I'll just go back from when I was in middle school, right? We had George W. Bush, who was crazy. And he was so insane that we elected a black man as president. Then, despite running out of hope and change and losing over 1,000 seats over 8 years because the Democratic Party was so horrible, because of that, we elected Donald Trump. We elected Donald Trump because Barack Obama was so horrible. But then Donald Trump, who essentially, I think that's 10th term of Reagan, Joe Biden the 11th term. But he's definitely the 3rd term of George Bush. He literally put the same George Bush people in. He had Mike Pompeo. He was a fucking neocon. He betrayed his base like A1 betrayed their base. So then he scared people so much, we got fucking Jim Crow Joe. Donald Trump is so shitty. He ran such a shitty campaign and had such a shitty first term. You guys understand he lost to Kamala Harris. Donald Trump lost to Kamala Harris. But then the unspeakable happened again. All these unspeakable things keep happening in this pattern. Despite how awful Donald Trump was, somehow, Joe Biden got in office and proved me right when I said he's going to be just like Donald Trump. And he's escalated the violence against immigrants. He's escalated the police state. He handled COVID worse. He is funding more genocides. He is funding the police state more. So when people say Biden's performance is because of Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, that does not make sense. Considering he could end the drug war, he could end homelessness, he could do so much shit that makes Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema irrelevant. He just chooses not to. So they're going to lose again. But the concept and the idea that the clown party, that is the Republican Party, that they're going to maintain public opinion for long. The only reason why Trump may win in 2024, the only reason Ron DeSantis may win in 2024, the reason why Democrats are going to get destroyed in 2022 is because Democrats are bad, not because Republicans are good. So then we're going to get a crazy right-winger in. He's going to be crazy, and maybe 8 years, people are going to forget about Joe Biden again. Then they're going to vote for Democrat. Oh, my God, we got to vote for Democrat. You guys know why? Because Charlie Kirk is the Republican nominee. Yep. We got Republican nominee Tucker Carlson. Republican nominee Jeanine Pirro. Oh, my God. Candace Owens, the first ever black female Republican president. They will love that shit. So then, what do you tell people then? People are going to forget all about Biden because Americans have very short memory. And then they're going to vote for Democrat again. That's why I told you guys to answer this question. I'm not going to give you guys the answer you probably want to hear. When you say, do I think this is going to be the end of the Democratic Party? Of course not. Of course not. They're gonna take the L. They're gonna take their lobbying positions. They're gonna get paid for losing. But then the Republicans gonna fuck up again. People gonna get Trump derangement syndrome. People gonna get Candace Owens derangement syndrome. And then we're gonna have fucking Pete Buttigieg as president. We're gonna have Chelsea Clinton. We're gonna have Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams, the first black female president, the Michael Bloomberg Democrat. Guys, we in some fucking. That's why I'm moving away from electoralism. We gotta get ready. We got some dark, like, times ahead of us in terms of electoral politics. You guys might well quit now. Like, if you want to take over national, we're fucked for a very long time because you gotta vote for Jim Crow Joe. Oh Jesus. So let's damn, this is a long stream. I'll read some more questions. Was I doing a story? Oh yeah, no, I'm doing my next story next. I got a few more super chats, so this is the part where I love doing that part. I love waiting. Where you know how bad Democrats and Joe Biden, right? I love waiting because every once in a while I get Trump supporters who like me because I bash Democrats, and I just want to lure them in, and then I'm like, no, you suck too. And this is why you guys are unserious. But what I find impressive is I actually know plenty of right wingers and Trump supporters who say, I'm still conservative, especially socially conservative on a lot of issues. But when it comes to your politics, I like your politics. I just don't like shit libs. And honestly, I fuck with that. As long as you fight with me to get healthcare. If you disavow, if you disavow Trump, if you disavow the Republican Party, and you want to join me fighting and destroying the two-party duopoly, I'm done with the ridiculous litmus test. Let's build a coalition to end the wars. Let's build a coalition to end healthcare. Let's build give us healthcare. Let's build a coalition to end the police state. Then once we do that, then we can start ending institutional racism. Then we can have the culture war after that. That's my opinion. Thank you for the super chat. So good, Lato. So good. Sorry. I messed your name up. Sorry, but thank you for super chat. Always gotta read all the Quakers comments. What if elites let Obama in because the left was literally boiling over with power? So we have someone that really look possible for leftists. That's exactly what happened. Because I explained in my article, I have this pulled up already. Thank you, Quaker. God, Quaker is the GOAT. I gotta have you back on. This is my article that I wrote. This is why I tell you guys to subscribe to my Substack. Our worst fears of the Biden administration. I actually put it in the chat. I put it in the chat here. Cause I work hard on these, so I deserve to promote them maybe once in a while, right? I'll explain how Joe Biden lesser two evils for privileged white people. MLK. Let's see. This is what I'm talking about, his war against immigrants. I'm trying to find the concept that Quaker Socialist just explained. So the point is, the reason why the Democratic Party is so dangerous, and the premise of this article is the worst fears of our Biden administration are coming true. Because the reason people didn't understand my reasoning of refusing to vote for Joe Biden as a black man, as someone who is an advocate of the working class, it didn't make sense because the Democratic Party is a mechanism in which the ruling class uses to destroy worker class movements, anti-war movements. So in 2008, there was a massive anti-war movement, and then Barack Obama killed it. Barack Obama ran a somewhat anti-war campaign where he made a lot of promises to activists who supported him. And there was this giant anti-war movement because of the Iraq War. I know because I was in high school. This is how I was radicalized. I was radicalized learning the crimes of the Iraq War. Excuse me. As a young boomer. As a young millennial. Sorry, boomer. As a young millennial, I was in high school during the George Bush administration. So the Iraq War, I wasn't radicalized as a socialist, as a Marxist until later. I was radicalized and I voted for Joe Stein in 2016 because I was anti-war. And that was an entire generation. An entire generation learning about the Iraq War, had parents who lived through Vietnam. We was anti-war. And came to, and like Quaker said, it reached a fever pitch. Because she says, what if elites let Obama in because the left was literally boiling over with power? So we had someone that really looked possible for leftists. Have someone who pretended he was going to end the Afghanistan war like he promised. Have someone who pretended he was going to end the Iraq and Middle Eastern wars. But then he escalated it. Like he went from 2 wars to 7. He expanded the military budget. He refused to close Guantanamo that continued to torture people. Don't listen to the hype. They did not banish torture. They still do it. It caused solitary confinement. Based on all studies, solitary confinement destroys minds and makes people go crazy. On top of other things, it's a crime against humanity and is a form of torture. Under Barack Obama, they held black sites where they took people who was proven innocent and they tortured them. This is why Democrats are scary. He took a movement that was designed to end war. Now, where is that movement, guys? Where is the anti-war movement? Despite the fact that every single administration expanded on the wars. It's non-existent. Because Barack Obama killed it. The same way Joe Biden killed the immigration justice movement. The same way Joe Biden hijacked, co-opted the Black Lives Matter movement. The same way they co-opted and destroyed the student loan debt cancel movement. We had a movement that was designed, like the March for 15 and the fight for the living wage was designed so we can have a living wage that was tied to inflation. The fight for the 15 is a decade-old long movement. We should be asking for a thriving wage. So we got Democrats who hijacked the concept of a living wage, and they only have their ass to about 15. Some Democrats say like 12 or 10. That's what Hillary Clinton said. She's like, oh, we can raise the minimum wage to $10 an hour. Don't even get me started on poverty rates. Because so what they're saying, even in high cost of living areas, we want quote unquote low skilled workers to live in destitute poverty. That's what the Democratic Party convinced people is okay. But I really do need to get to the next story, so this will be my last segment. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Oh, man. Here we go. Okay. We just did a segment about the insane rise of authoritarianism among Democratic voters based on polling because of the COVID culture war. Now, my job as a citizen journalist, as someone who's significantly to the left of vast majority of the people that got platforms in terms of like what I advocate for, right? I explained my concept earlier of why I took the anti-mandate position as a leftist. I explained my position as a leftist, as a Marxist, why I am against mandates, vaccine mandates. So, with that said, I see a lot of hypocrisy coming from right-wing populists that I can't let stand. And instead of cheering on and blindly joining in allegiance with these people and stroking their egos, how about as Marxists, how about as leftists, we challenge these right-wingers who say they agree with us as an anti-imperialist. And I see people in the comments already know who I'm talking about here. Kim Iverson, like, oh, I'm anti-imperialist, I'm going to vote for Republicans. So ridiculous. So, as a leftist, and this is what Richard Wolff said on Jamie Dore's show. Well, Richard Wolff said he believed that leftists and worker class movements should take this opportunity to radicalize people using mandates. Because now we got people realizing that we have a ruling class that's finally, like, I have never seen right-wing people go as anti-Big Pharma as they are now. They're like, oh my God, Big Pharma making all this money. They just want to destroy the workers. Okay, let's move you to the left now. We can take this mandate, we can take this culture war, and we can expose the hypocrisy of these right-wing populists. Where they say, I am anti-authoritarianism because I am against vaccine mandates. What they're really saying is me, me, me. I just care about me because I'm going to show you guys why. Look at this story. This is insane. So the so-called right-wing populists, the so-called Republicans, you know what they've been obsessed? Have they been really fighting for the working class? Not really. You know what they've really been obsessed with? They've been obsessed with banning critical race theory. The so-called free speech warriors, the so-called people like, we believe in the freedom, free exchange of ideas. These people want to ban the idea of critically thinking about race. That's what they want to do. So they support, what's his name, Youngkin? What's his name? Fuck. The Virginia governor dude. He just recently banned critical race theory. What's his name? I'm Googling. I can't look at the chat right now. Youngkin. Okay. So let me find something that back up what I said first. So I think he actually banned it. He banned it. Here it is. So I guess I should show this first anyway. And I personally pulled up New York Post because I want to show you guys the right wing, right? Glenn Youngkin defends ban on racially divisive critical race theory. If you're a right-wing populist and you're not anti-Youngkin, you got a lot of explaining to do. So Kim Iverson and the people who say they're anti-authoritarianism, they say, oh my God, we got to support free speech. You see how quickly that gets thrown out the window in order to defend white identity politics? I don't take you guys seriously because your entire right-wing populist movement is just rebranded white identity politics. To be clear. Let's see what he said. They call it racially divisive. So let's explain this. Let's talk about this concept here, right? Let's talk about this concept. Oh my God, I'm going to ban something because it's divisive. So when we talk about critical race theory, we talk about the history of oppressive systems and how they destroyed our wealth. So when I do a presentation to you guys, when I explain how civil asset forfeiture steals our wealth about 60% rate, we are targeted, and I'm gonna keep showing you guys this article, right? I'm never not gonna show you guys this article. Check this out. Police seized 17 million in 3 years from the working class. Black people were targeted the most. Out of all the civil asset forfeiture cases, 65% of them was black. So you guys see why we explain on the International Leftist Coalition that race is class? Because our race is the reason why we are over policed. This is why they steal our wealth. And stories like this is why our wealth right now is lower than it was in the civil rights movement. You guys are okay with me doing this analysis, right? Well, like whenever I talk about civil asset forfeiture, like even the people who like hate critical race theory, they talk about civil asset forfeiture. So doing the analysis I did that civil asset forfeiture is a tool that the capitalist class use to steal black wealth, that is critical race theory. Do you agree with that or not? And you guys understand that is a class analysis because class is race. Because the reality of your class, reality of your race dictates your class. Like civil asset forfeiture. Like the fact that black families are charged higher interest rates for their homes, higher interest rates for their cars. So even if you want to be a right-wing culture warrior and disagree with this, why are your guys' response to this information that I promise you guys can't debate against? You guys want to ban it. You guys want to ban teaching it. You guys want to ban the conversation. The so-called free speech warriors. Oh my God, I want to ban this conversation because it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. You guys, he literally says it's divisive. Meanwhile, in right-wing cognitive dissonance, they say it's the lefties that are anti-free speech. They say we are the snowflakes. They say, oh my God, the black people who get upset because someone is racist, they want to cancel people. They are anti-free speech. I don't advocate cancel for no one. You guys are, because my critical race theory is making you guys uncomfortable. You guys don't want to hear you guys don't want little white Timmy to hear about your generational wealth that was built on the back of slaves. You don't want to hear about how our economy is built up by the prison and in military industrial complex. That is where your wealth comes from, for the most part. For the most part. But Timmy, who dad worked at Chevron, who has blood money, right? The right wing, Bubba, who he has a dad who was a sheriff, and his grandpa was a sheriff. So they made their generational wealth through the backs of white supremacy. But you don't want Bubba to know that, so we got banned teaching critical race theory. Who's the snowflake? You guys are. The right-wing populists are. The people who want to ban critical race theory. You guys are so engaged in white identity politics. You guys don't want to hear about things that are factually true about what happened to my community, what happened to indigenous people, what happened to Latinos people, the destruction in the Middle East. You guys don't want to hear it because it makes you uncomfortable. But because you take one stance, you guys got one stance that you guys take. I'm against mandates. I'm against vaccine mandates. So since I'm against vaccine mandates, I'm against authoritarianism. But I'm against banning books. I'm against banning speech. So you guys want to know the result of this right-wing culture war that they've actually been pretty successful with, to be honest? You guys want to see the reality of this and how it affects black people? Book bans in schools are catching fire right now. You got right-wing Karens banning books so little Bubbas and little Stevens don't get corrupted all over the country. So who do you think is more likely to do an analysis on critical race theory and talk about the oppressors that have destroyed our wealth? Black authors and intellectuals. So now we're seeing a rise of black authors that are being censored in public discourse. Congratulations, right wing, so-called free speech warriors. People believe that the Republican Party and conservatives believe in free speech. These same people believe in prosecuting Julian Assange. These people believe in prosecuting journalists that expose war crimes, on top of banning black authors, on top of supporting the Patriot Act. But Kim Iverson is going to vote for the Republican Party because of vaccine mandates. A needle is why I'm anti-authoritarianism. Do you guys see how stupid this is? And that's why it's my job as a leftist to hurt you guys' feelings. If you're one of the people that think you're class solidarity, you think I'm going to hold your hand and sing Kumbaya with you just because you guys agree with me on one issue, on mandates? Because you guys are like, oh my God, we got to form this coalition with right-wingers who are anti-mandate. Disavow the Republican Party. Disavow the police state. Disavow the white culture war that want to ban critical race theory. If you disavow that, then let's start forming coalitions. But otherwise, you guys are deeply unserious. And subscribe to my Substack, Nick Cruse at Substack, because I'm going to write an article where I just explain, I'm going to dive into detail. I'm going to come up with receipts that expose these charlatans. The people who say, here's an experiment I want you guys to do. Next time you talk to a right-wing populist, just ask them, why do you call yourself a right-wing populist instead of a left-wing populist? what are they going to say? They're going to say, well, I believe we should support the working class. I believe we should support populist movements, but I still have conservative ideology. I believe in fiscal conservatism. Okay. If you believe in fiscal conservatism, why are you supporting the police state? Why are you siding with right-wing culture warriors like Josh Hawley and Saiger from Breaking Points, fear-mongering over defunded police? If you're a so-called right-wing populist, what kind of populist sides against the police state that wage class warfare against the workers? How are you a populist? Saiger from Breaking Points is anti-marijuana. In the year 2022, the probably the most popular right-wing populist is against ending the new Jim Crow. He's against marijuana. But go ahead and tell me more about right-wing populists and how I should be somehow interested in reaching out to him. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. It's been almost 2.5 hours, but this was fun. I actually did not finish. I didn't finish. It's okay. I do this story next time. I got another story for you guys. I'll share with you guys next time. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Excuse me, man. I'm so tired. But support the Patreon. This is a long stream. I did like 5 segments. 5 segments today. So support the Patreon. Subscribe to the Substack, and also any individual donations to Venmo, Cashapp, donations to JB, GoFundMe, Rome Tour for the Poor, CJ's new mutual aid group, like all that stuff is great. I appreciate that. Is there any super chats I missed? Hell nah. Nick, will you work with libertarians like Ron Paul? Ron Paul and these people, they divide the working class with their bullshit, with their culture war bullshit. He's anti-war, but how are you going to end the military-industrial complex if you're constantly dividing the working class on stupid-ass bullshit? He's the right-wing culture warrior based on anything I tell him, Ron Paul. Deeply unserious, as far as I'm concerned. Check out the Substack, as it's been linked in the comments as well. I'm just trying to cover my ass with these comments here. Thank you. Razor Sharp Analysis, Interfaith Rhetoric, RBN at it again. As we wrap up the stream, let me know. Let me know if you enjoy these kind of streams, because the people who watch my old Socialist MMA channel, this is kind of what I used to do. I used to just sit and talk about policy, right? And I just want to let you guys know I appreciate the solidarity in the comments here. But I think that's it. I think I got a super chats and everything. In terms of what's coming up, this is another good comment by Quaker Anarchist. Strike Fund thread. Check out Quaker. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. This is from my good friend. Daily, weekly, go to strike and strike funds. Oh yeah, this is still a long strike. Josana was telling me about this. We gotta talk about this more in detail. So we gotta start strike funds. Like, yeah, we gotta start this right now. Yeah, Quaker, hit me up. Yeah, hit me up, Quaker. We gotta do this. That's dope. Much love, my friend. I adore fireside chats with Nick. Much love, my friends. So I'll be out tomorrow. I had 2 long streams. And also, CJ have great shows for you guys tomorrow. So tune in for that. Thursday is probably my favorite day because we had the Revolutionary Blackout live stream. It will be me, Savvy Sav, JB, and Rome. And also, I have a special Thursday International Leftist nighttime panel. It'll be around the same time right now. I'm going to have Dr. Kareem Batesh and Peter Beatty on Thursday. Friday, Savvy Savs have a show that she does on Friday. And I'm going to have Awkward and Zoya, my friends, on 10 Demands. Right? So anyway, thank you guys for watching.